Hey guys, welcome back to Just Being a Mom podcast. And today on episode 36, we are talking about all things TV. So whether your kids should be watching TV, whether they shouldn't, what it's doing to their brain, are they learning, is it okay, blah, blah, blah. Anything TV. I mean, obviously, I only have 15 minutes, so I'm not going to talk about everything TV, but I'm going to talk to you guys about like what I did and what works for us and try to help you guys to make a decision to what works best for you and your family, because that's what I preach every week. You have to do what's best for you and your family. So here we go. So basically, doctors feel, or no, because they're doctors. Oh, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I am definitely not a doctor. I can just only tell you like my experience and what's working for us. So doctors strongly feel that there should be no TV before the age of 2. Some doctors even say 3. It really creates a delay in, where's my brain at today? It really creates a delay in development and speech. So obviously these things are important to you. So I was gonna say, if these things are important to you, you probably would want to stay away from TV. Just because it has been, studies have shown that it does create delays, and you want to obviously give your child the best chance, because your child's, in the first few years, your child's brain is like developing in this massive amount. So you want to basically, the way, I'm just all over the place. So basically the way that their brain learns best or grows best is through human interaction, exploring, and like a 3D play. So is what I heard one doctor say. But basically like learning, exploring, and playing. And that happens through just basic human interaction and human experiences. So they want you to have as much of that as possible, and basically not waste. It's a waste of time in front of the TV because you're not getting any of those things when you're watching TV. So yeah, and so they say no TV before 2, after 2, no more than 30 minutes, after 3, no more than an hour. And I think, it goes up, but like they say like no more than an hour a day, like per child. And I know families who have watched TV since they were babies, had a TV in the nursery. I also know families who, waited till after 2, waited 1 year, or I know kids who are 11 and never watch TV. So there's different type of families, different type of dynamics, but you have to do what works best for your family. For the working mom, obviously I've seen kids like, wake up and they eat breakfast in front of the TV just because they're sitting and the mom has to get ready to go to work. I've seen kids, be running crazy and the mom's like frantic and she can't get anything done before she goes to work. So it's just like whatever works best for you. This is what we did with Elijah. So for a long time, we didn't have a TV. So he wasn't watching any TV. It was just a lot of like background things, because like if he was like doing tummy time, I could be like, I'm not doing anything, so I'm gonna catch up on my shows. So I did, caught up on my shows. But he was doing tummy time, or it was just like he was doing like his own thing or something, or if I was nursing, I was like on my phone or something like that. So not necessarily like him like in front of the TV, but it wasn't until he was about 10 months until we like intentionally started watching TV. And then it was like Sesame Street. So the reason I chose Sesame Street was because I had done a project in college, and we had to do basically research on the most educational programs for children. And Sesame Street was by far the most educational show on TV for kids. And so I was just like, oh, perfect. I just always knew since I was in college that my kid was probably gonna end up watching Sesame Street first, and that was gonna be his jam. It was. That went over well. I can appreciate Sesame Street because it is super educational. It is interactive. If, Elmo tells you to get up, jump, let's dance. Like, the kid gets up, he jumps, he's doing the moves. It also, there's a letter of the day, there's a number of the day. So by the end of that episode, your kid knows that number, he can recognize it. Your kid knows that letter, he can recognize it, and he knows the sound. So I just always knew that that would just be our first go-to because it was just super educational. And basically it's just like playing the alphabet over and over again and counting to the number 7, like over and over again. Like, what's the harm in that? But I never felt really guilty about letting him watch TV because we were also doing things like I stay at home, so we were also having like tons of one-on-one time, tons of time. We would go to museums and activities, and he would have this abundance of human interaction. So I never felt guilty about him watching TV. And he was really smart. Like, he was like learning and like counting. And now he can, like, I hate to say he's really smart, but he is really smart. Like, for a 2-year-old, he knows and he just turned 2. He knows all of his letters, can recognize all of his letters, knows all of the sounds of each letter. He knows all of his numbers. Not obviously, I think he's counting to like 18 now. I'll say 15 to be fair, but I think he can make it to like 18, and he can recognize the numbers, recognize shapes, colors, animals, sounds, everything. Like, that's pretty basic, but everything, you want to teach your kid because education was just super important to us. It was a really big goal of ours. And you'll find, what I did was we watched Sesame Street on YouTube, and that was really great too because YouTube doesn't have ads, commercials basically. They do, but you can just skip them. And so it's usually a commercial about like kayaking or something. And it's not like trying to sell my kid like all these toys and candy and like, so that was really important to us too. So I really wanted to that's why I really like appreciate YouTube. And what YouTube does is like find other educational shows that I had no idea about, and I'll place like links below so that you can know like exactly what he was watching. But it's basically like videos that just show like the ABCs that help him to learn how to count, that help him with his shapes, numbers. It's like song, it's music, it's movement. So just like things like that are things that I love to watch and that I don't feel guilty at all about giving him to watch. And I honestly think that's why he's like so ahead today. I can't give credit to just TV because I've been doing I made these flashcards like when he was like 4 months, and they're old. They're like busted up, if you can see. Again, sorry, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, I just showed like a picture of the flashcards. But like basically I would just go like show them a card and be like, but I'm telling you, at 4 months. So I can't give credit to just the TV because I was doing things, and I can't just take all the credit either because he was watching TV. So, but to help you guys to make a decision, basically what you would want to do is to figure out what's important to you. Like for us, it wasn't really important that education was super important. So one, he had to be watching something super educational. It wasn't really important to us to like necessarily protect him from things like say like, oh, like cussing or like violence. Not necessarily that I want to push those things on him, but he's gonna see those things in the real world. He's gonna hear a cussing word. What I want him to know is to learn self-control, to not use those words, and to figure out, use problem solving to find better words to use how he's expressing instead of these cussing words that he was exposed to, So I want him to learn one, right from wrong, self-control, and problem solving. And he's got to be exposed to some negative things to be able to make those decisions. And then in the long run, he's going to be a lot farther along because he's been problem solving since he was 2, So and if you're trying to protect your kid from just these negative things, you're missing out on such like teachable moments. Like, to teach them things and to like teach them right from wrong and to show them like the right way to do things. Like, don't miss out on those valuable, teachable moments either. So determine what's important to you. And once you determine that, like, try to focus on a goal. Like, what's your goal? Like, I would always say, like, he's watching TV like with a purpose, not just to be like entertained, not necessarily just to babysit him. Or so what's your goal? Is your goal to educate? Is it to entertain? Is it just, I need 5 minutes, you're going in front of the TV? And that's okay. It's totally okay. I've like set him in front of the TV. I've taken a shower, I blow dry my hair, and he's been sitting right in front of the TV the whole time. Granted, Elijah's really great because I'll put toys in there too, and sometimes he'll just sit on the floor and play with the toys and not even worry about the TV. So he's just like a really great kid. And know your kid, like know what they like, what they don't, how they adapt to certain situations. That definitely helps too when you're making your decisions. So set goals. If your goal is to not let him watch TV, write that down somewhere and keep pressing towards that if that is your goal. Like, because it's hard. Like, I've tried not watching TV and I'm like, it's really hard. I really commend you guys for like not letting your kid watch TV, because it's just like, oh, I need to cook dinner. Like, I need to do this right now. Like, how do I do this? And he's like, Tupperware's all over the floor. Obviously I've done it, but so I definitely commend you, and I definitely like press towards that. Like, don't give up if that's your goal. Like, write it down somewhere, keep pressing towards it. Like, I'm not gonna let him watch TV. Nobody ever got hurt by not watching TV. So I think you're doing the right thing for your family if it's working out great for you and your kid is thriving and growing. And don't ever feel like these decisions are permanent either. Like, if you've decided like, okay, we're gonna watch a little bit of TV, we're gonna watch TV, the decision is not final. If you're finding out that your kid's not like thriving or not really even learning anything or from what they're watching, everything's on YouTube. You can find anything. If you need like speech development, there's something on YouTube for it. Like, you can find anything. Like, Elijah's been watching these phonics videos. I'll put it in the link. And it's been teaching him basically like blending sounds and like how to decode words and just like this next level, like even like math problems, like 6 + 5, 11, and like it'll count like all the little things. Like, so he is still learning, like it's with a purpose. So if you're finding out that he's not like thriving by watching TV, cut the TV off. Like, it's fine. It has an off button and you can just cut it off. You no longer have to watch TV, and you can there's other activities that you can put in place of the TV. And if you're not doing TV, if that's your goal, and you're just like, I'm done, like I just want to cook dinner in peace, like, it's okay. There's something super educational, super great for them to watch on YouTube. I'm sure there's other channels that are like good. I know, like PBS, like I think Disney doesn't have commercials either, but like they show like stuff like Paw Patrol and like stuff like that, like Ben 10. I don't really like that show. That kid's a brat. But anyways, they show stuff like that. So I always say, make a decision and be happy with it either way. And then nothing is final. And there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong way. A doctor will easily tell me your kid watches too much TV. If you think about a kid that watches a lot of TV, Elijah is probably just like right under that, okay? And I don't claim to be like the perfect mom. Clearly I'm not. Like, he watches, I'll say, enough TV, okay? So I just want you guys to be confident in your decision making and the decisions that you're making for your family. And I hope this helped you guys to make a clear decision on what to do and what works best for your family. But anyways, guys, I hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and comment, do all that stuff. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.